And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, we made it back. And I am just so excited that I did not get fired.
Stevie's back on my show. Welcome to
The
Be
Apprentice.
Informed with Mayor Stewart, Stevey Newnez, my special guest. We had to have you back. It was too good.
It was too good.
We want to thank everybody who tuned in to the last episodes. It was great.
They were so respectful.
Awesome.
Like, the feedback was amazing. Like, I didn't think that... I thought people would be, like, just ignorant, if I should use that word. I mean, it's not a, it's...
I think it's from our experiences before on social media. People are always posting.
And the world.
Yeah, and posting a lot of negative stuff.
Right.
But I think from feedback that we got from everyone that people found it really helpful.
They did.
They found it informative.
Yes.
They learned some new things. So we're going to keep it going.
Because you answer the questions. It's like you're not scared to answer the questions, and that's good. And I'm not scared to ask them. So I think that, like, I'm here, representing you, the viewer, the one that's listening right now.
The people.
The people, and I mean, I'm not scared to ask the questions, and you're not scared to answer them. So
there you go. So let's keep it going.
Let's get right into it.
And keep being informed.
Right. So I know a lot of people say, oh, yeah, you guys, talk so well spoken, blah, 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 blah. But is the action, is it happening? Is things being taken care of? So I know in our last episodes we talked about the potholes. Have they been filled? Has it, has the city or whoever it is? Because we always have someone to blame, right? So have they done their
We
job?
talked a lot about potholes in one of the last episodes. It's on everybody's minds. Yes, the potholes are being filled. They are being taken care of as of this filming today.
Yes.
We have filled over 750 potholes.
700? How does that even happen in a city?
But wait, there's only 3 people on that crew that fill potholes. They have been busy. That's one of the things. People think that we have this army of public works staff that goes out and fills potholes. There are 3 guys. It's a team of 3.
Right.
And so they've been busy responding. Remember, we talked about that app on
I was just
going
to say, have people been taking pictures? Have people actually been utilizing the app?
It's crazy. Everybody has been using the app. It's been so helpful to us and really helpful to our staff too. You can see there's 1,400 issues that we fixed at this time. And there's always going to be a lot of potholes, but we're taking care of them.
Well, I can see that because I've driven into town. There hasn't been many potholes, which is good for me because I'm usually blasting music and I don't
not paying attention. Looking at everything else.
Right. I mean, I pay attention to the people that are walking in the cars, but not the potholes, So I think that that's great. It's a good follow-up because we really do have to make sure that if we are saying, let's use this app, let's do this, that it's really happening and that, everyone it's collective.
We need your help, right? We need the public to help us know where a lot of the potholes are. So our crew and our staff is only in certain, we're only going to respond to the areas that are being reported. Like we're not going to drive on, down Old Donald Road looking for potholes. Just, because it's so kind of off the beaten path. But the more that people use the app, the more it helps us. Like I said, we filled over 700 of them so far. Our crew is working. It was tough. It rained a lot. When it rains a lot, it doesn't help us with potholes because the rain, it washes away. It allows the asphalt, it makes the asphalt break up a lot easier. Okay. And so when you get a lot of rain or excessive rain, and it was a really, really, really wet year, it's going to screw with the roads. It just, bottom line.
Listen, did you see the meme with, I think it was the Titanic meme? And
oh my God, I died.
I mean, we have a lot of creative people with a lot of time.
That was the East Main Street. That was in front of New Bright
Plaza.
That
is so funny, but it was I think that all the surrounding cities, they were that is so funny, It
was funny.
But it's good that there was some humor in that. I do think that, this is your city, but this is our city. So I think that everyone should kind of work together and, make the best out of our city. Try to help our city. It's not going to happen with one person. It's going to be, everyone has to, do their part, So.
And we paved over the road in front of New Bright. I drove down it the other day. It's all done. fresh coat of asphalt. Here's the thing, though. I think we talked about it before. People were asking, oh, how come it took so long? The asphalt plants do not open up until like winter is over.
Okay.
So they didn't even open until the second week of April. Second week of April. So when you think about it, we got all these potholes filled within a couple of weeks since the asphalt plant has opened.
Now, my question is, how do potholes, like, how does that happen? Like, where do they come from?
So like I said, like when it rains a lot and you get a lot of water, it seeps into the asphalt and it breaks it up. And so if you have really heavily traveled areas or, just areas where the road is weaker than others, you got to think about it because the road is only, it's cavernous underneath because you have your sewer line, your water lines, and so there's only a certain amount of inches that are there. So it does sink. It will. It doesn't mean it's we do our parts and make it.
Oh God, I can already see it again next year. The same thing.
We will.
When you're mayor all over again, people are gonna be like, "We need this to happen again, and we need this," and at least you got it. You got it done.
Yeah, and we'll keep doing it. So, like I said, keep reporting them. We'll keep taking care of it, and we'll.
And that's important because I know how my people in Britain are. They're like, all right, yeah, you guys talking, but let's make sure that it's getting done. And it got done. How many?
Over 750 right now.
My God.
We got a lot more to do.
That's a lot of holes in one city.
Well, we have over, I think it's 140 miles of road. So think about it this way. New Britain is 13.2 square miles, like all around the shape of the city. Within that, there's over 140 miles of road.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Well, I'm really happy that it got taken care of because, girl, my tire, my red bottom tire, my Louboutin tire.
That's a shout out to Juan.
Shout out to Juan. Because he's the one usually on the roads while doing stuff. He's like, what kind of tire you have? And I'm like, be quiet, Juan. You know what I meant.
We appreciate the feedback from our viewers, so keep it coming.
We do. Just keep it respectful, like I said.
So listen, when we talk about potholes and filling them, it's expensive. And it kind of piggybacks onto something else that I think we need to talk about too, and that's the city budget.
Right.
And so, we're getting into complicated territory right now. Okay, so bear with me.
The budget.
And you got to help me out here.
That's all I hear on social media is, where is the money going? I pay a lot of taxes.
Yes.
The taxes are going to increase. Are they going to increase? That's the question. Like, is it going to happen? Or is Mayor Erin Stewart making the taxes increase because she has that power to? Does that even make sense? But I don't know. I'm just, listen, no shade at all. That's why I'm wearing the shades right now, the shades. But are the taxes going to increase?
No.
Good news. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
That is actually good news, girl, because ain't nobody paying taxes.
So let me back up and maybe talk about the budget process and what it entails.
Yes,
it's complicated. It's not easy to understand. So
I need to be informed.
Every year in January, we start the budget process. Every city department has to submit their budget request for the next year. Separately, police department, fire department, public works department, we have about a dozen city departments, right? They submit their request to the Board of Finance and Taxation. Okay. That's not me. This is a separate board of New Britain residents that then review the requests and make a recommendation to the mayor. This happens in March. So you go from January to March. Then from March to April, 1 month, I have to make my own budget and present it to the city council. Oh, wow. So when you saw me post a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month ago at this point, that I put forth a no tax increase budget, that was after we've already started to go through this process. So now I've presented my budget to the city council. Now the city council has until June to make any changes to my budget if they choose to. So there's a lot of different layers here. We call this checks and balances, right? Yes. So we learn this in government 101. You can never make decisions in a vacuum. You have to have a lot of people's input and different layers of government. And so now we're going through the process where the city council has my budget with a no tax increase. I got you guys.
Ooh, that's awesome.
It was really difficult to do, but let me talk about why. Every year, the cost of government doesn't go down. Does the cost of a gallon of milk ever go down?
No.
So do you think the cost of government is ever going to go down? No. The cost to fill a pothole only goes up and up every year. Asphalt gets more and more expensive. So you have to figure out a way to pay for these things, but not relying so much on the taxpayer, because we're all struggling to make ends meet too. And so it's a balancing act, right?
Right. I don't think that it's city, it's the city, it's not city based. I think that it's like a statewide kind of thing. Like I feel like they come down on, of course, you or the city, like, okay, where's the money going? Like we're not doing no handouts, we're not doing no.
And there's so many different layers to it. Like we talked about the bridge, the Beehive Bridge.
That's the main.
People always say like, oh, you have all these millions of dollars to spend on a bridge, but how come you can't fix my grass or sidewalk in front of my house? Well, that's because it comes from a different pot of money.
Right.
So my job is to balance all of those different pots and find the best opportunities for the city where we can leverage money that's available to us from all different areas for only specific projects.
Okay. So when we say specific projects, where does the money go? When you budget, how do you like break it down?
So that process is really labor intensive. So I sit down, there are 890-ish line items in the city budget. So when you look at, it's like this thick, and there's a different line item for everything. And we go through each line item one by one and talk about, okay, last year, the property management department got $50 for supplies. This year, they don't need supplies. Maybe we'll give them a $0.
Well, everyone needs a turn. Or
maybe we'll cut it to $25, just to give an example. And it takes a lot of time and is very time consuming, but it's also pretty stressful too, because you have to balance the needs versus the wants. We want everything. Right? We want to have all this stuff, but what do we need?
Wow. Being a mayor is very hard. A lot of people are acting like they could be the mayor of New Britain. It's really hard to be you right now. There's a lot. Like when I sit down and I was looking at, the budget, and like I was like, what? Wait, what?
It's very difficult
what? You have to do what?
To comprehend. Because a lot of things, people think that the city gives money to a lot of places that we don't. We simply cannot.
Right.
We don't fund little leagues. We don't pay for, private events to be hosted at Walnut Hill Park. Or we don't pay for the little Poland festival. A lot of things that people assume the city pays for that we just don't. We can't afford it. We have to pay for public safety, our staff, right? Public works. We have so many different facets of city government here, and we run about a $250 million organization, and it's
that's crazy. And this town is not even that huge of a town.
And so when you think about it, every day I manage that $250 million ish budget. I think it's it's 242.51 million to be exact.
So what's the update on the Beehive Bridge?
So construction is well underway, and you're going to start seeing the pedestrian enclosures built in June, and it should be done by August.
Okay, so it's not gonna affect the traffic so much.
No, it's a little tough now because they're doing all the sidewalks, but it's passable.
I think it's gonna be worth it. I mean,
it's gonna be beautiful.
I was talking to people, and when I came here from New York, people would be like, "Oh, this is a pretty town." I thought it was a really pretty town. Then I started to live here, and throughout the years, I'm like, it's starting to get a little,
We're getting there.
But now that you've been in office, you have really cleaned it up, which people should see.
Yeah.
Because I definitely see.
And so the bridge project, and it's a great project, but
how did that affect your budget?
It didn't, because we already had it paid for years ago.
Right.
So I just want everybody to pay attention, stay tuned to the budget. It's still in the process. I didn't propose a tax increase. Let's hope the city council doesn't put one forward either.
Yes.
Just know that I'm always thinking about the taxpayer. I don't want to pay more taxes either.
Right,
I pay
because
taxes
you have
too.
your own, yes.
I pay taxes too, don't forget.
Wow. So I was just informed
think we're informed. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're going to come back with another episode.
Hopefully
soon.
Are we?
I think so. I think I just made an executive decision to invite Stevie back for another episode.
Right, because I ask the questions and she answers them.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.